Hello, welcome to Black Sheep Blogger. Today I'll be reviewing the Sela Beauty Steam Straightener. That would be this right here. Now in the box it's red on the outside, but when I opened it up, I actually had a nice sleek black one, which is pretty awesome. So my model today will be my 12-year-old cousin, who will remain nameless. And all the reviews I see online actually have mostly straightened-haired people or wavy-haired people. There was only one lady I commented on her video because she actually had curly hair, and I watched this thing straighten her hair, and I was very excited to try it on this one's hair because, as you see, as it dries, it's just going to get curlier and curlier and curlier. So I'll tell you a little bit about the straightener. So itself, on the back, you'll see here, this is the front side with all the things. So on the back here, you just pull this off and you flip it around. There's a little plastic insert. They give you a plastic water bottle to fill this thing, but I didn't like it. It was just squirting out the little top thing. So I just ended up pouring water over it and then drying it completely for 5 minutes in a paper towel before I popped it back in here. Say it takes about 90 seconds to heat up, so while I brush her hair, I'm going to let this start heating up. Should hear a series of beeps the whole time it's heating up. So let's see. There we go. So it starts. So right now I have it off. I'm going to turn it on. Starts on 375. For her hair is insane, so I'm going to go straight to 450. As you see here, their directions are not fantastic, kind of an ESL situation. So it's not a lot of spaces in between the words and not really proper written sentences. So I went online searching for tips and hints that anybody might be able to give. You'll see one side comes down a little further. That's where the arrows are. You will always hold the straightener in that direction when using it because the steam will be coming out in that direction. You don't want to burn yourself or not get any of your steam by holding it in the wrong way. So I'm going to let that straighten up for a second while I actually brush her hair. Her hair is damp, and I have from a hairdresser themselves that they think we can use this on damp hair. So that's great because I was worried about her hair getting way too curly because she gets some really, really tight curls. So I was a little worried about that. So I'm just going to brush through her hair. She washed and conditioned it really well. So this should come out really, really nice. It should be nice and shiny, frizz-free, because you're not running the blow dryer against the brush and then having all the excess hair, popping up in the air while the air is blowing it in every direction. So you can let this air dry or you can blow dry it a little bit. I'm just choosing to leave it damp because I want to see all the capabilities this thing has. So I'm just going to do this and I'm going to part her hair out real quick. I like to do the front, the sides, separately from the rest. There. Okay, now I'm going to do a couple sections in the back because I like to do thinner sections, especially on a person with thick hair like this. You always got to separate it. And I didn't see anybody in any of their videos doing the separation, but I guess maybe it's my training as a hairdresser that forces me to do this. So I'm going to do that. They don't have to be perfect sections, as long as it's enough to just not do a ginormous section of hair at a time because this is thick, thick, curly hair. Anybody with thick, I personally have thin, straight, normal hair, so I never have any of these issues. So I'm really happy to help her figure out all of hers. So we're going to just do this, and boom. So now I have a nice little section down here, and actually to try this with. So now you'll see, it took me, about 60, 90 seconds for me to do that. The straightener has gone all the way up, it stopped blinking, and is now on 450 degrees. So I'm going to hold it straight down, and let's start with my first section. Actually creates that sound. I'm sure you actually heard that. It was very loud. And her hair is halfway straight already. And actually half dry too, so that's pretty fantastic. I hope you guys are seeing the steam as much as I'm hearing it. And actually normally when I run a hair straightener over her hair, because I do it a couple times, I end up burning my hands because I'm using it on 400 something degrees and I can't touch her hair for a second afterwards. I'm blowing on her hair. I'm not having that issue here. This would even take really curly hair and just make like a nice wavy thing if you only ran it through once or twice and then let it dry the rest of the way on its own. Maybe a little product. So that's what I'm thinking right now, some heat protectant spray. So I know that this is steam and not a normal straightener, but I still like to put a little protectant spray on there. It's just better for the hair. So, that smells fantastic. As you see, you saw what her hair looked like curly. So this is just running right through. It normally takes me over 2 hours to straighten her hair completely. We blow dry it out with a round brush and a blow dryer, and then we let the heat leave it, and then we go back in with a straightener and then section it out and do all little sections again. It's not usually a fun process. We only do it maybe once a week. Okay, so the thing I'm thinking is leaving it damp will take a little longer and a couple more passes with this if you leave it damp first. But so far it's straightening really, really well. And I'm going to just do a little extra on the bottoms because that's the part that's trying to wave up on me. Always overlap your sections so you don't get division lines between your hair. So, wow, I cannot believe how straight this is coming out. I mean, if I took the time and blew it out with a brush and then took a straightener on really thin sections, I could probably get even better than this. So it's not going to take away from your straightener completely. If you want to have pinned straight hair, you really want to go for it, then you're going to have to pull out your straightener for this. But this is leaving a little bit of body left in her hair. A hair straightener flattens each piece of hair individually and makes your hair overall look flat. And I'm not getting that here. I'm just getting a nice, and her hair is super soft. It's very shiny. I'm actually very excited. This is coming out great. She's got some dry ends that we need to cut off, but that's not on the straightener right here. All right, so I'm ready to do the next section because that's it. This has taken, normally just to do this section, it would take me 10 minutes to blow dry it, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10, 10, and then it would take me another 10 minutes for each section just to straighten the hair because I have to let it cool down in between each pass because it's too hot. I'm not getting that issue here, so I'm very stoked. I can actually touch her hair when I'm done. I'm so blown away right now. And it's not a lot of steam. I was imagining like big billowing clouds of steam were going to be pouring out of this thing, and it's not. It's very light, and I can't imagine why this works so well considering there's less steam. Like I said, I have straighter, more normal hair, so I'm definitely going to try this out on my own and see, because my hair takes no time at all to blow dry and to straighten. So I'll see if I feel like this saves me, if I don't feel like blow drying my hair one day, let my hair air dry, and then see how good it does, because I have like a slight wave to my hair. And I saw on the other YouTube videos of other reviewers who reviewed this item, and they had really great results with their wavy hair. They called it curly, but it was not curly. Just one of them. Okay, so let me just pause this. Okay, we're back. So now, as you see, I've gotten to the next section. It's getting super, super soft as you go along. If the hair is damp, you definitely have to go over it a couple more passes, especially if you're an actual curly haired person, like my model here. Because it's, as you all know, it really is a huge undertaking to straighten a curly person's hair. Like it really is. So you're going to get a lot of, not frizz, it's just full of heat, and it takes a little while for that heat to leave the hair and then let it settle down again. So you're going to have that issue, and you're going to have to go over it quite a few times. You might even want to throw the straightener on it afterwards. I really don't know until we're done here to see what we're going to end up with. It's nice and slow. And some people were saying the outside of this does not get hot. This part is definitely hot. As I try to squeeze down and get better pressure when I come down the hair, this is making my fingers feel warm. So it definitely does have some heat on the outside of the unit, just like any straightener does. Definitely coming out really soft. It's gonna still be a slow process, but more than cut my time in half, for sure. I'm one to do this at the top of the hair to really get it from the roots and keep it straight. That's a little tip if you're blow drying, straightening with a flat iron, whatever the case may be. I always suggest getting up top, 1, 2, 3 clicks, bring it down. Keep doing it. If I do 3 times in succession like that, the hair is a little hotter, but still does not feel like 450 degrees while I do that. So, doing pretty good. I'm going to take a pause right here and come back when we get back to the top and the front sections. Okay, so as you see, we got most of the way. I got the top section now, and then I'll have the front sections. And by this point, we have now, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to pop this out for you. Show you that we are basically out of water. So doing her hair, I did 75% of it before we ran out of water. Maybe the reservoir could be a little bigger for this thing. That way you don't run out, and maybe it could be a little easier to fill. There we go. I got you seeing it. So now you just pull this little tab away. They give you a dropper for it. I just run it underwater. It's much easier. So I'm going to go fill this up, give it 90 seconds to come back, and then we'll do the top section. Okay, we're back. So now we're going to hit this top section. See what we can do. I don't think all of this is going to fit in one, so I'm just going to brush this out from being like that. I'm going to split into thirds, because if you do it in the middle, then you get that separating line right there, and I don't want that. I want it to sit nicely, so I'm going to overlap them by doing 3 sections. I'm going to lift this up like a 90-degree angle, because I want her to have a tiny bit of body up top, and I want to be able to really straighten and hit the roots as I come down. Now I'm going to take the second section and a little bit of the first section, put them together so there are no division lines. Alright, so now we're going to go up, press down. That's when you start hearing the mechanism producing steam. Alright, now I'm starting to feel more heat in the hair than I did initially. So now I'm going to go to the third section, take this tiny bit of the second section. Go. Okay, now that we got the very top done, we can do a couple passes over the center of the shaft. Sometimes when I pick up the section of hair, I like to pick up a little previous hair that's already been straightened, so it kind of gives it something to straighten with. Pattern to follow. And always holding the hair at the bottom to help it get as straight as possible until you get close to the end, because I definitely got, as I was coming down, had it a little too close to my finger and got some steam on my finger. Ow, that hurts. Because it's 450 degrees. So never forget that. Whether this is not a flat iron or not, it is still hot. It's producing a lot of heat. So you have to be careful where you're pointing this. If this is closed, you're producing steam, as you see. And you don't want that coming back at you or at your client or whoever you have sitting in your chair, if it's your kid, whoever. You just don't want that. So you really got to be careful about where you're pointing the steam. So something else I've been doing. Can you lean forward a little bit for me? So I wanted to show them the bottom. So as I get down, I turn it just slightly to create more tension on the hair and help it straighten better. So that's a little tip. I hope that will help somebody. As you see, this one's having a little bit of trouble straightening. So I'm going to start it up here, nice and tight, and I'm going to turn it towards the hair. So let the steam like really go directly in there. And as you see, it's straightening a lot better when I do that because of the tension I'm using. I'm going to go back to this section over here, do it again. I'm also a perfectionist, so I will do this for 2 hours like we would normally do just to make sure it's perfect. And this is our first time using it. We haven't even tried it. I took it out of the box and just figured this out right before we started this video. So I think it's a really good sign. I mean, I am trained as a hairdresser, but it's a really good sign when you can get these great results after having one use with the product. So as I said, tilt that steam towards the hair. You're creating tension, you're pulling it tight. It's kind of the similar effect of you doing a round brush over and over again with a blow dryer going on it. You're just going to keep creating nice straight lines. And shininess too. The steam is great for shininess. Tilt it towards the hair, let that steam penetrate, and then drop the hair down as you get to the bottom so that the ends don't end up sticking out weird. Like, you know, flipped out like Patty Duke or something. Okay, so now I'm gonna pause the video here because I will not show you her face, and I will come back and talk to you myself about what I thought about the straightener altogether. Have a great day.